Hi friends, greetings from Jamaica. It's been a while since you've seen a video from me because I've been out of the country, and I say out of the country meaning out of the United States, which is where I usually film my videos. Today and for the past week and a half, almost 2 weeks, I've been in Jamaica with my family. My family being my parents, my brother, my daughter. My daughter is on the trip with me. My husband is still home in New York. And I've been having a fantastic time. So much so, I haven't had a chance to check in. I mean, there's more to the story. There's a while where I didn't have Wi-Fi and just kind of sorting out things with all of that. But I've been making videos. I've been making vlogs, I suppose, but I haven't been able to put things together, compile videos to share with you. So I thought, since it's been so long, I don't think you've gotten any videos from me since the beginning of May, because there was all the rush to try to get sorted out and get our trip together for us to actually be here. So yeah, the first few days of May were like really busy with getting ready for the trip, and then there was the trip itself and all of that. But I say all of that to say I'm here in Jamaica. I've been here now for close to 2 weeks, and I don't know how much longer I'm going to be here. And the reason our trip is kind of open-ended is that we were scheduled to leave a couple of days ago. On Thursday, we were scheduled to leave Jamaica. Had our tickets, had our bags packed, were ready to leave for the airport when my dad had gone out to come back to meet us for us to all go together. And he came home and said, "Have you guys been listening to the news?" And I said, "No." And he said, "You should call the airport because the news said the airport's closed." And I was like, the airport can't close. It's a 24-hour service. But yeah, the airports were closed on Thursday because there was an air traffic control strike. And so my flight was on the flight, so it got canceled. So I'd gotten an email a few minutes before my dad actually came home, an email from the airline saying my flight was canceled and I need to rebook. But because we were getting ready to go and I thought everything was set, I wasn't checking email or anything. So without that, we would have traveled the 2 hours to the airport and gotten turned back, which a lot of people actually did do. But we didn't do that, thankfully. I say all of that to say that, yeah, we were supposed to leave on Thursday. We didn't leave. We're still here in Jamaica. And I don't know when we're leaving because the flight being canceled means that now we could stay a little longer, and it's okay. And we didn't really want to leave anyway. Not then anyway. So it's funny because, so this is a kind of chatty video, I guess, right? I thought I was just going to come on here and chat books, but no, I need to catch you up with my life. So one of the requirements for travel these days is that you need to get a COVID test a day before your trip, especially if you're traveling overseas. In order for you to get on the airplane, you're supposed to have had a COVID test the day before. So it can be more than 24 hours, but it has to be the calendar day. So our flight was on Thursday, means that we could have gotten a COVID test any day, anytime on Wednesday, and it would have been fine. So the day before we left New York, I spent the entire day trying to get a test for myself and for my daughter. My daughter is 2, and so she's old enough now that she needs a COVID test, but she's not old enough to be tested at most of the locations. So all I knew about the trip, about the travel requirements when we were leaving home, was that I knew she needed to get a test. And I was like, oh, that's not hard. I could just go to the mobile vans and it's going to be free, and I could go anytime and it's going to be fine. And then the day we were supposed to go to get the test, which is the day before our trip, I realized that no, she's 2. She's not old enough to be tested at most of the locations because they only test children over 4 and over. So even Walgreens, which has drive-through testing, they will only test children who are 3 and above. So I was like, okay, can I pass my daughter off as 3? But no, so I couldn't get a COVID test for her except going to the hospital. So we ended up going to the hospital the day before of our trip. The day before our trip, we went to the hospital to get tested, and then we got there and they sent us to the mobile testing locations, which are some trailers outside of the hospital. And I'm like, okay, this is good. I'm going to be able to go get things ready for our trip. So we get on the line, we go to the mobile testing, and yeah, after we get tested, the lady tells us that no, we're not going to get our results right away, even though it's a rapid test. We won't get it for 24 to 48 hours. And I'm like, lady, I told you people that I'm traveling at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. Like, what part of rapid testing don't people understand? I was getting a little frustrated, so you understand. But yeah. So we ended up having to get 2 tests. So we went to the mobile testing location. We got tested, but we couldn't get those results fast enough. So we ended up going to the emergency room of the same hospital, pretty much the same location, just across the street. We went to the emergency room, got tested a second time. My daughter was not happy getting swabs in her nostrils twice in a row, but then we waited and we were able to get those tests in like 2.5 hours. So we spent the entire day at the hospital getting COVID tests. And then we go to the airport the next day. Now that we haven't been able to do any of the things that we wanted to do last minute, we go to the airport and nobody asks to see the results. Like nobody. So we got on a plane with our COVID test results, but nobody asked for them, but that was fine. But I know that coming into Jamaica, they might not ask, but coming back into the United States, they would ask. So we were all prepared to get tests. And, okay. So then we come to Jamaica and we hear that the testing here is expensive. Like it costs $50 for each test. And I need 2, one for me and one for my kiddo. So we tried to use our self-test. We tried to do our self-tests, and I have the tests, and we got results through an app and stuff, and they're like, no, they won't take that. They need, if you're going to do self-tests, it has to be a test that you do live in front of a telehealth associate. So there would have to be a person on the other end of Zoom or I don't know, some app. I don't know. Can you have people on apps? I don't know how that works. But yeah, self-test just means that you do a test at home, but somebody has to be watching. So we did the test, but those weren't acceptable. So in any case, I called the airline on Thursday morning, called the airport Thursday morning to confirm that my self-test won't work. And they said, no, but you could come to the airport and get tested. And it would be fast and it would be fine. So we were all prepared. Like we were leaving home just a little bit earlier than our regular, standard time to give 3 hours to check in and whatever. But what's funny to me, the reason I share all of that is what's funny to me is that I called the airport in the morning to confirm that I need a COVID test for my daughter and that I could get tested at the airport. And nobody tells me at that point that the airport is closing. And like 15 minutes later, the airport's closed and they send me an email that I don't see and my flight is canceled. So I'm taking a little downtime from all of that and just continuing our vacation. So we're here. I'm at my parents' house and we have not worn out our welcome. I don't think we can. They love us. They want us to stay, and by us I mean specifically my daughter. I think if I left and my daughter stayed with them, they would be fine with that, but that's okay too. So yeah, we are just taking an extra couple of days in Jamaica, which is why I'm still here and not back home in New York. But yeah, all of that, just a little catch up with my life. And so I've been here now for, what did I say, like 12 days, I think, at this point. And I've read 3 things. Half of a 4th thing. No, that's not true. I've been reading 4 things. I haven't finished most of those. So yeah, what are the things that I have read? I read this book, Secrets from the Heart by Sean D. Young. This is a romance novel, a Clover Creek novel published by Entangled Publishing, and it's a romance novel, pretty standard. Boy meets girl, boy and girl work together. In this case, boy works for girl. And I say boy, even though these are mature enough people. They're in their 20s or 30s. And the main character is a woman named Kira Davis, and her family, her extended family, own an inn and these are black characters living in the South Tennessee, I think is where they are. And is it Tennessee? I don't remember. It's been a couple. It's been a few days since I read this book. Yeah, but the family had a feud because the main character, his father had a romance with the okay. So Kira and Franklin. Okay, so Franklin's father, when he was much younger, had a romantic encounter with Kira's aunt, and she died, and the family blamed Franklin's father for it. So the two families, the Davis family and the Bennett family, have been feuding for decades. And now that Kira and Franklin are working together and wanting to spend more time with each other in a personal way, they're trying to mend whatever is happening in their family with the feud. And they're kind of pushing the adults, the older adults, to kind of resolve things, and they don't really want to do that. So it's a little bit about the family drama and a little bit about the romance that develops. I like this. I like the backstory. I like the fact that these characters were African American, and there are references to them being African American. I think the author is an African American woman, but it wasn't about race. Like, it wasn't about all the stuff. It's me, Daddy. It's me. I don't know if you heard me. Yeah. Yeah. Your keys are on the table. Your keys are on the table if you're looking for them. Yeah. So I like the fact that the book is not about race. Like, at first I thought that maybe one of the families was white and one of the families was black, but it's not. They're both black families, and they're both pretty established families. Like, they both have businesses and legacy, and I like that. I like that the family members, the older adults, like, they talk to the children, even though they're not necessarily wanting to delve into decades-old rifts and all this stuff that went along with that. They also still entertain conversations with their children, their adult children. And I like that. I liked a lot of things about the book. It wasn't a perfect book. It was not. Did I say it was? It was not a perfect book. There are some things that I could say that I didn't love about it, but in general, I really enjoyed the book. I thought it was a fun read. So then I started, still haven't finished, Prayers for the Stolen by Jennifer Clement, and this one is set in Mexico, and we're reading about women, specifically women, young girls and women, and the lives that they lead in this rural, mountainous community in Mexico, and the influence of the drug cartels, how they live their lives, kind of because of how the drug cartels operate. So in the villages, they talk about the girls having to be hidden. The parents pretend that their daughters are sons, especially for the first, I guess, until they get to puberty, and then they try to leave because these drug cartels, these groups, these SUVs, these black SUVs just come in and raid these towns and steal the children. So they make the girls, they uglify them, they make them look like ugly girls, or they make them look like boys, sometimes both. So when they're children, they hide them as boys, and as they get older, they pretend that they're ugly. And so they blacken their teeth. And then there's one girl in the book who has a hair lip. She was born with a hair lip, and she's the only girl in the community. She's the only girl who's raised there because all the other girls are being passed off as boys, but they know that nobody will steal this girl because she has this disfigurement. And I thought it's really impressionable, this book, because it's talking about this life, this lifestyle, and how these people change their lives because of what's happening around them. And so, yeah, I'm not finished reading it, but I intend to finish it so I can leave this copy for my mom. And so, yeah, I'm reading that. And I also started reading Hamlet. I'm doing a buddy read of Hamlet, Shakespeare's Hamlet, with Columbus and Rosalie. And so we're going to be reading and discussing this. The group has already started reading the book. I haven't been checking in because no Wi-Fi. That's my excuse. So, yeah. We'll talk about that later. And so, yeah, I'm reading that, and I'm also trying to finish up books for the BookTube Prize. I'm reading nonfiction this round, and so I've been finishing Billie Jean King's autobiography, and can't talk about that. And then I started reading The Little Devil in America by Hanif Abdurraqib, and reading that. So yeah, those are the books that I'm reading. That's what's happening in my life. Would love to hear from you guys. Leave me a comment down below if you've ever had any of the travel issues that I seem to have had this time. And you can see I'm not worried. I'm okay. I'm okay. Did I say travel issues? Travel snafus, because clearly I'm okay. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. Let's chat in the comments. Would love to hear from you. I have vlog footage. At some point I'll put them together and I'll make and share videos on here. But for now, thank you for being here for the check-in, and I look forward to hearing from you. And I hope you guys are having a fantastic time, enjoying the weather wherever you are, enjoying the day, whatever you're doing. And until we come back and chat about books and other things, happy reading. Bye.